expectations of Nigerians and true to its dream, as it has made tremendous progress and the country is better than how it met it in 2015. Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed disclosed this while speaking with newsmen on the administration's achievements in Abuja. The minister said in 2015 the entire northeast region was inaccessible and 20 out of 27 local government areas in Borno were under the occupation and control of Boko Haram insurgents, adding that presently no portion or part of Nigerian territory was under the occupation and control of insurgents. Mohammed recalled that in 2015 Nigeria was #1 importer of rice from Thailand, but with the administration's policies and programs on agriculture, the country is self-sufficient in the staple and food in general. He said the administration had constructed 17,000 kilometers of new roads and rehabilitated 8,000 kilometers across the country, among other achievements. The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, led by Senator Abdullahi Adamu and the Forum of Governors on the platform of the party, have held a meeting and taken a position on the controversial Naira policy. The meeting had in attendance the APC National Working Committee, 12 governors and 2 deputy governors. Reading the resolution of the meeting, the APC National Chairman said that the leadership of the party and the governors asked the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to prevail on the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to comply with the February 8 interim injunction of the Supreme Court, restraining the CBN and the federal government from implementing the February 10 deadline. Recall that the Supreme Court had temporarily restrained the federal government from banning the use of old Naira notes from February 10 this year. A 7-member panel of the Apex Court, led by John Okoro, made the ruling in an ex parte application brought by Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara Court to grant an interim injunction stopping the Apex Bank from ending the time frame within which the old 200 Naira, 500 Naira, 1,000 notes will cease to be legal tender. The matter, which was adjourned to February 15, has since been extended to February 22, while President Buhari, in a nationwide broadcast, ordered a recirculation of old 200 Naira notes while declaring that the old 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes have ceased to be legal tender. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has warned against hoarding of new Naira notes by commercial banks, calling on the Central Bank of Nigeria to sanction financial institutions involved in such anti-people activities. A statement signed by the governor's spokesperson, Malam Rashid Olawale, indicated that Governor Adeleke gave the warning while addressing CBN officials in his office. He decried the increasing shortage of the new notes, explaining that he has been deploying state network to douse tension and ensure safety of banks and the CBN state. Offering to the governor, his intervention in the last few weeks had ensured that the state is saved from increasing conflict across some southwestern states, expressing unhappiness at the current hardship the people are experiencing. He expressed the readiness of his government to partner with the CBN for the currency swap, informing the CBN team that the state is sacrificing a lot to maintain peace and calm frayed nerves. Responding, the CBN State Director Oluyemi Adeyemi in a response commended the state governor for his proactive steps that have saved the state from Naira-related riots. The meeting set up a monitoring mechanism between the state government and the CBN to ensure allocated new notes get to the populace. The Nigerian Economic Summit Group has said that the failure of the deposit money banks to meet growing demand for cash implies that the banking system is unprepared for cashless economy. NESG, in a document it released, businesses, particularly the small and medium enterprises, which are the backbone of the private sector-driven economy. It said time spent in attempting to obtain new notes to disrupt economic activities makes it significantly difficult for people to engage in daily activities, as commuting becomes difficult or even impossible when cash is not in hand and when economic agents are not receptive to e-payments or bank transfers. The economic body raised the alarm that social tensions have been rising recently due to inadequate cash in circulation and the uncertainty resulting from the policy. It expressed concern that as the elections approach, which is often associated with an increased risk of violence, the unrest arising from the effect of the policy could fuel tensions. Bimodal voter accreditation system has been described as a revolutionary technological discovery that will shape the country's democratic dispensation. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Shola Ojutalayo, gave the perspective in a lecture organized by lawyers in Ife Town in collaboration with the law students of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Mr. Ojutalayo said that the beavers introduced in the 2022 Electoral Act by the Independent National Electoral Commission is a part of various electoral reforms undertaken by different governments in deepening the country. The resident Electoral Commissioner, Kwara State, Malam Atahiru Madami, has warned against overvoting, saying it will be to the detriment of the political parties. Malam Madami pointed out that election results at any polling unit recording overvoting will be cancelled and the presiding officer in charge will be prosecuted. This was as he revealed that a total of 1,565,829 permanent voter cards had been collected by voters in the state, adding that those are the people expected to vote in the general elections. The REC, who stated this in Ilorin, emphasized that any political party that perpetrates the overvoting will be punished by cancelling the votes, while the perpetrators will be arrested and prosecuted according to the law. Tomorrow, a release by the Public Relations Officer of the institution, Mr. Ademola Adesoji, states that the Vice Chancellor, Professor Clement Adeboye, is the chief host at the event. Venue of the matriculation is the University Auditorium at the main campus, Osogbo. Parents have been admonished to hugely invest in the upbringing of their wards in all spheres so that they will always be remembered for good long after they depart the world. This was the focus of Islamic clerics that led to the prayers at the 20-year remembrance of Alhaja Hamdalat Ishola held in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. To succeed in this world so that the children will always remember them for good after their demise. The children and grandchildren of Alhaja Ishola, who spoke in separate interviews with OSBC News, including Alhaja Islamia Iromini, Mrs. Muinat Ishola, Mr. Olagoke Iromini, Mrs. Zainab Abiola, and Mr. Olayemi Iromini, described late Alhaja Ishola's footings amid the challenges of this world. They appreciated Allah for how far they have come 20 years after her demise and prayed Allah to give us hope of winning the 8th continental title in the ongoing 2023 Africa Under-20 Cup against the Flying Eagles 5 minutes before the end of the first half to ensure that the Young Lions of Teranga claimed the victory. During the match, the Eagles failed to convert their chances and allowed the Senegalese to grow in the game. Alade Adams and Ibrahim Mohamed were both close for opening the score in the encounter but failed to apply the needed finish as they sent their efforts wide of the target. While Senegal went straight to the top of the table, Nigeria fell to the bottom of group of wheat, forcing some cities to cancel annual carnival celebrations in the Brazilian state of Sao Paulo. The mayor of the hard-hit town of São Sebastião, Felipe Augusto, said neighborhoods were submerged, motorways flooded and filled with debris as rescue teams are struggling to reach survivors and unblock roads. Mr. Augusto added that dozens were missing in the town and the situation remained extremely critical and twice the amount of the flood are expected for the month. Meanwhile, officials say another 228 people have been left homeless, with 338 more evacuated from coastal regions north of Sao Paulo. State Governor Tarcísio de Perista said he had released the equivalent of $1.5 million in funding to aid in disaster relief. President Luis Inacio, the carnival weekend in the northeastern state of Bahia, said he will visit the affected areas. And that ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Please join